Her closer to me having any hope of getting it into here because my stack's going to be under that staircase.
Are you happy with that? Welcome back to the Waitomo house. It's been a busy couple of weeks. The team's been really busy getting everything ready for the plasterers to start. They're starting in about a week. We've got plumbers starting next week, electrical starting next week. We spent a lot of time inside getting these old frames all straightened. Trusses arriving next week. Basically everything that needs to happen to get the roof on and plastering started. That way we can start all our internal work. So I'm going to take you through and show you what's going on. The most important thing I think that needs to be done before you hang plaster, especially in these old homes, is making sure the walls are perfectly straight. It's really hard to do when you've got a really old frame. So what we do, we rip a lot of it out and we actually put new studs in. Otherwise we laminate to the old studs and just get everything perfect like brand new. We do the ceilings, the walls, we redo everything. It's an absolute nightmare, but the house is more perfect, like a brand new one when we're finished.
We decided to do these half-height walls in all of the bathrooms, just as a point of difference and a feature. They'll be used instead of a niche in the shower, and then they'll also be the thing that separates the floor tile and the feature tile. So the floor tile will run up the wall and then go to this point, and then we'll have a different tile at the top, which will be really cool. Our vanity sits at about 900 high. We'll then have bench-mounted basins on top, and then our taps will be wall-mounted taps, which will come out of this half-height wall, which will be really impressive, a really beautiful feature, and then we'll have our mirror sitting on top. So this week the boys have finished putting in all of these half-height walls because they need to be done before the plastering gets here.
So the team just finished wrapping the house in insulation. In my opinion, the most important thing of any home is making sure it's wrapped properly and taped. So the team started doing their taping. They've taped our damp course on our windows to our actual insulation. I'll then do another horizontal joint here. We're actually wrapping before the trusses go on because they're going to be a while. So when the trusses do come up, this will come down, the roof will put its flashing on, will all be taped in like that. We'll have another row of damp course that will also all be taped in. If any water does get in, it hits here, comes down the paper, out onto the roof, not inside the house. So before meeting your plumber, a couple of things you have to make sure you've done. One of them is make sure you've made your selections for your in-wall plumbing fittings. All this is really important because it goes in the wall and is sheeted over and then finished later. So you'll always have to know where your mix is going to go, how your shower head's going to work, so they come from the ceiling and then they come from the wall. They use wall-mounted taps, bench-mounted taps, what kind of toilet you're going to use. All this stuff is really important to know. Definitely worth going to your plumbing supplier and checking stuff out before you meet your plumber. Otherwise you do what I do all the time and you'll forget. You'll be dickhead. So we just had a meeting with our Sparky. I've forgotten pretty much everything and didn't tell Perry to bring anything. So we pretty much winged it. So we've gone through and set out the whole house. Just had to make sure we pick where we put each light fitting, all our light switches, where we want fans, how we want our two-way switches, so if you want to turn a light from one position to the other, outside lights, pendant lighting, LED strip, wall lighting, hallway lighting, stuff like dimmers, fans, so much stuff. It was very stressful.
I definitely recommend having a bit more of a plan before you go into these meetings. Eddie loves to do things on the fly. So when we met with the electrician and the plumber today, really I hadn't thought about what types of lights. We haven't chosen our lights, and so it was kind of a bit all over the place. So we just worked, he was really patient and good. And so he went through the house with us, and we kind of made decisions and just left options open as well. So I promised him that I'm going to go shopping this weekend and make some decisions about lights. So, you know, before, you know, too much happens, he can put the electricity there that needs to be there. So that's all of our updates for this week. We can't wait to actually show you guys some more progress. We're going to go shopping this weekend. So there's going to be lots of exciting stuff happening moving forward. Please make sure you like and subscribe and share this with anyone that is currently renovating or that loves renovating. We appreciate all the support.